I guarantee you, as an entry-level person coming through HelaPlex, or as a person with experience in life sciences coming through HelaPlex for these programs, when you go back to work, you will stand out. Or when you go work for that new employer, you will stand out. Most people, they just don't go get it because they can't afford it. And most employers don't pay for it because they don't see the benefit of it, or they only see the benefit of it for executives. So, high level management into C-suite, they'll pay it for them, but they won't pay it for the lower level employees. And so that's when I bring the question to say, if you're really about DEI and you got all these Black and brown workers and everybody sees where we're at and where everybody else is at, and you're trying to figure out what the famous question, well, how do I go find somebody that's Black and brown to be a C-suite or higher level management? They're right there in your company, still working at the shop floor or still working at entry to mid-level management. If you take the time to invest in your employees to bring them up for whatever standard that you have, this is how you do it. You have to be intentional. You have to specifically go out and recruit these people. So I encourage you to be intentional if you're about DEI, and you need to put a program together and actually execute it. And I would recommend that you execute it primarily in your house before you start going out and hiring people from the outside. That is one of the worst things you can do for company culture, is to look over your people inside your house and go get somebody from the outside. It does nothing but create tension. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to create a period where you're going to have more people exiting than entering. You have to come collectively as a leadership team and say, where do we want this company to go? And what do we need to do to make it happen? And sometimes that means that you might have to remove certain things, remove certain people to make that happen. Everybody's not progressive. Everybody's not in alignment with your house. And so you have to figure out who's in alignment with that house, who are the players that can move with you, and who are the people that you might have to say, thank you, it's been a great ride, and it's time to move on. Already with best practices, already knowing the language and the culture of a typical biotech company, already knowing how to support themselves by keeping a log or a journal of everything they've done, making sure that they have those one-on-ones and all that. So when it is time for performance review, you don't have to sit there and get that stuff together last minute. That's what I did. That's how I got to where I was. Throughout the year, I would just keep track of different things I did, whether it was my day-to-day stuff or whether it was projects I was invited to work on or whatever. I always made sure I met my deadlines. And so when performance review came, you had probably a 4 to 5 page document of what Tia did in that 1 year to help you make the right decision for me, help you to help me to get that higher, whatever that increase in pay, or if it was an increase or opportunity to be promoted, I always gave that. Now, did it always work in my favor? No. And I'll be telling the students that it may not always work in your favor, and that's okay. So 1 or 2 things are going to happen. Either you're going to stay there and continue it and press on and go through the process again and hope for the best, have faith for the best. Or if you've done the faith for the best too many times, then you're going to do what I did and promote yourself by going to another employer. Now, take all that stuff you've been saving for performance review, update that resume, and go get that title and higher pay somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, as an employee, you always have to have your own bucket of resources to get you to the next level, to take your family to the next level, whatever it is, because here's the thing. Nobody can do it but you. Mm-hmm. Nobody can do this but you. Yes, they have the decision-making power, but as far as helping them make that decision, that is on you to have those items in place and be prepared to take advantage of that opportunity. And so if you don't master that, even at this early age with these students being able to graduate at 18, 19 with this skill set, look at the power they get ready to have. Right. You're going to get all this at 18, 19. You don't get this in college. Mm-hmm. Now these students have the opportunity where you're going to have everything up front, no matter what you choose to do. Even if you decide to go to college and not work, you still have this experience in your bucket, right? Mm-hmm. And those things that we're teaching for these entry-level positions or the retooling we're doing for the more advanced people, the base of it, the foundation of it, does not change. Now, it may be new equipment, whatever, but you always got to get trained on that. But the fundamentals of how to interact in that culture, how to protect yourself in that culture, how to work in a regulated environment, you will have that no matter what industry you start to go in after you graduate college or while you're going through college. Yes, that's the point. Now you got something to work with for folks that claim they have nothing to work with to bring us up in the ranks. Well, now you have. And you have time to get your shit together along the way until it's time for that person to get in that role and start executing in that leadership position.